Hello, everybody. I am actually not muted, Carrie. I just decided to turn it on to get started and get going. I apologize for that. I was just making sure everything was working on my side because I like to give a good experience and not look incompetent. For those of you who are used to seeing me, my name is Glenn. I have my beautiful fall background up again because for some reason where I live, we have still not realized it's fall. It's still summer here, it seems. No, Carrie, I like to be dramatic with my entrance. Okay, that was over the top. I'm sorry. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Glenn. I am one of the senior techs here at Top Producer, and I'm going to be enjoying today to tell you about the latest Top Producer X updates. Joining me in chat on both Zoom and on Facebook is the irreplaceable Christine. She's always there, always available to help, and always answers the questions that we need. So going into this, I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. And I'm wondering, is anybody else experiencing the fun of having fall show up instead of, or having the fun of summer showing up right now instead of fall? It is one of those things that sometimes are a little bit interesting because Mother Nature seems to want to give us second summer, as we call it here. All right. And I am just giving it a moment here to make sure everybody's in. I know we've got a couple of really cool things to go over today and a couple of things that we want to definitely show to everybody. Janice says it's beautiful in Colorado. Yeah, I have only driven through Colorado, and it was doing a long drive, and it was in the spring, but for some reason we ended up having the worst snowstorm I've ever dealt with in my life. And I was driving my mother-in-law from Texas to Washington. So the vehicle had no winter tires. It was fun. I didn't tell the passengers in the car that I was white knuckling the steering wheel because of that. Stan, yeah, I know we've got that 22. I still don't get it. I don't get how it's so hot at the 12th of October. I know we've all got it. I feel sorry for you, Teresa, only having 3 weeks of spring and 3 weeks of fall. I like spring and fall. They're my favorite times. Looks like Florida and the San Juan Islands are awesomely nice. Heather, I appreciate you letting me know. Denise, yes, over there. Yeah, they are fun, Janice. I get it, Carrie. Rainy and 50 in Illinois. I don't mind rain, but I like being inside. Teresa, I get it. Enjoy not having to deal with that anymore. So it looks like everybody's having a good morning. And as much as I hate to say I use that how's the weather in your area thing as my lead in, it seems to have been a good choice this morning. So why don't we start getting into some of the cool things we can do with Top Producer. And Doug, I got to say, isn't it always blue sky in Arizona? I remember the days in the old when we'd have commercials with people saying, oh my God, there's a cloud in the sky. And that was Arizona. That was to convince us in Canada to come down. So I guess that's not unusual. So with that, I know I can imagine you do. So let's get into something else that's super cool. We have some new updates for you. And I really wish I had a way to do a drum roll right now because something that people have been asking for, we have done. Two things, actually. The first one I'm going to go over right now is how we have it so Market Snapshot is no longer going through our servers, but is going through yours. So when you send your reports out, anybody who has a Market Snapshot account, you may have experienced that going into spam every now and then. That was because of our servers. We admit it. We completely admit it. We did everything we could to fix it. But now we've done an even better way to fix that for you. It's going to go through your email account. Because it's your official email, it's your named email, and it's not coming from a corporation like us, drastically has improved the deliverability. This screenshot here, the little thing we've got here is no lie. double or triple your deliverability. This is huge. This is one of those things that we are so super happy to have been able to give to you and to be able to have available for you. So I hope any of you using Market Snapshot will see the benefits of that and see how it's going to work out for you in the end, and see that your snapshots are actually going where they're supposed to go. So the next thing, this is huge. This is something that's been asked for by many people, and I asked for it too. Relationships are now available in Top Producer X CRM. Now I need the applause thing to go with that. We heard, we listened. I always say we like to listen. We like to hear your feedback, and we actually listen and do things. So over the last few months, we have created a new relationships, highly requested relationships that are now available in Top Producer X CRM. There's going to be different ways to do it. There's going to be ways to do it from your existing Top Producer 8i contacts that have transferred over. You'll have ways to do it for a new contact, or even how to create different links for different contacts. It'll allow you to stay organized and communicate more effectively with your clients and their connection. Now, I am going to go over all this. I do have a quick demo set up for the end, but I want to go over the meat of it first, and then we can have fun seeing how it works and answering any questions. So let's go on to the first part. Communication with your contacts is always key. And sometimes you need to be able to communicate with not only the main contact, but a secondary person on the account. I like to use an example of when we purchased our house. My wife at the time was not working, and I was. So who was the best person for the realtor to reach out to? Obviously not me, because I was in a retail position at the time and I couldn't answer my phone while on the floor. So who's the best person to go to? My wife, who is at home doing all the packing, which I owe her for that still 12 years later. But she did all that, and she did the communication, did the running around, and helped us find our house. So you may run into that same type of a situation where you have one person who may be the primary because of just the way they're put into the CRM, but you may actually be speaking to the secondary. We've made it to make it absolutely much easier to do that. And adding the relationship is also super easy. So you'll see here how to do it right here. You've got a chance. You can search to add or add a new contact. And like I said, I'm going to go over this just to make it a little bit easier. Once you've got the new relationships all set up, once you click on that tab, you're going to be able to see who everybody is. A child, a spouse, a tenant, partner, ex-partner. And unfortunately, one of the reasons we've done it this way with the ex-partner there is that was very much requested. It's an unfortunate reality of this world that unfortunately nothing lasts forever. However, that being done, we've got that taken care of and put into a way to assist people. Now, like I said, if you have multiple people that are relationships and you want to talk to a specific person, as you can see here, they were trying to reach out to somebody from Claire McBain was trying to reach out to Logan at home.com, but it put in a suggestion of reaching out either to the spouse or the tenant. This makes it so you can actually communicate with who you want to communicate with. It's not just going to be a broad, you send it to the main contact. You're going to have the choice. You can adjust it. You can send all or even just one. You'll never have to leave anyone out again in the future. And it does make it easier because we will make those suggestions for you. If you want to send an email to both the primary contact and their spouse, well, when you're making it, as always, we have those merge codes for you. You'll notice here, when you go through your merge codes, you're going to find spouse first name, spouse full name, and spouse last name. This is going to make it so that you can tailor those emails to the people that need them. Again, we're trying to make this as easy and a simple workflow just to get everything up and ready so that you can get it out to the people that you need to. Now, one of the things I did go over, and I'm going to show this. I have actually prepared to show. I know anybody who's watched this webinar before is like, he's prepared? Wow. But I have prepared today because this one is pretty cool. So there, if you have had all your relationships set up in Top Producer 8i in the past, you'll notice you've got the Michelle and Darren Jonah there. You'll notice Darren Jonah is the spouse. So once you go into Top Producer X, and I'm going to show you this, you'll have an option to convert it. And that will create the relationship right there from that. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into my Top Producer X. You'll notice I have a few contacts here that I have pre-prepared just to get this going. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards. I just mentioned how I have people from Top Producer 8i. And actually, before I go on, I'm going to do the old disclaimer. Any resemblance to real persons in this demonstration, alive or dead, is purely coincidental. I do put that out there because, you know, reality. So let's take a look at this here. Sorry, I just got a couple of messages. When exporting to MailChimp, does the contact set up under relationship export also? And David, right now the MailChimp export is only through 8i, so yes, it will pull up that information. It will take all the information you need when you create it and send it across. Now, we are still looking for ways to incorporate different connections and features within Top Producer X. So please, as always, I like to say, click on our old feedback button down here in the bottom left corner and let people know. The more our developers know what we need, the better they're prepared they are to give it to it. PR is currently down. You're having access troubles right now, Glenn? Might, okay. Interesting. Okay, we will we'll check with people, find out if there's an issue with that. For now, if you want to just watch along with me, I do apologize for the lack of connection. We are working on trying to get 8i working. It is still a work in progress. It is one of the reasons why we're putting a lot of stuff into TPX. So with that, I'm going to go up here and click on relationships for Scott Summers and Jean Gray. As I said, I had them in Top Producer 8i. And when I come in here, I can click convert to relationship. You notice now I've all of a sudden got a spouse. Now, if I click on her name, it'll bring up all of her information. Now, when we go back over here, recent, let's go to Scott. Now it has all the information over here. Got their primary mobile and primary information. Again, you'll see her right here, and you can even edit. So you can edit the information, relationship, and let's just say everything goes the wrong way. You could change them into an ex-partner, friend, or something else. And you will be able to find the information. I didn't add phone or email to them, so it didn't get transferred over. But it would be here for you to see, and it would also be on this spot as a secondary. Now, another thing, another way to do it, and please keep questions. And like Christine said, we will be sending out a recording of this session later, so you can actually see what I did in a little bit slower route. So now I've got created a contact of Boba Fett. He is a employer, and it's good to know who works with him. So he did recently add somebody by the name of Finnick to his roster. So if you were to just click on them and then say partner, because they work together, you can then save the relationship. And now they're connected to each other. And you'll notice either one, if you click on the relationships, it's going to show. So here on Boba, it shows Finnick. If I go over to Finnick and click on relationships, it shows Boba. Now, these things are all there to connect it, so you can just very quickly see who is connected to who. Relationships that way are a lot easier, and I will then go over here, and I'm going to create an email. Just make sure my email system works. Okay. You'll notice right here, I do have the option to add Finnick, and I can actually remove Boba, just have it to go to Finnick. I do need to do a new signature, obviously, although I am preparing for Halloween with a boo there. So this, again, I can put it in here and use a merge code. Hello there. I can put in the one I have. And this is one of my pre-created templates. So again, you can use a template. Or if you just need to put in a merge code, you click on here. And then we go down. You can find all the different names. So let's go first name. It just shows me right off the bat who it is. Now, I'm sorry, I scrolled a little bit fast there, but you'll notice it starts off with the template. And then as we get down farther, that's when it will go into the actual merge codes. So I could really do this backwards. Let's just have a little fun. Mess the name up and put it backwards there like that. So as always, I like to give an example of what not to do. This is one of those. So as you'll see, wherever you want to have the merge code go is going to be right at your cursor. So you'll see my cursor is right there. We scroll down again to last name. And there we go. So I could create this email up or use one of my pre-created emails. Now let's say I want to have both of them in here. Now let's do an actual email here. I'll do hello there. Now you'll notice it's grabbed just Fennec. I could then go and scroll down. Oh, look at that. Because there's no actual spouse, it's not going to work. So let's scroll down and see which one there is. Okay, so this is more for spouse, obviously. So we will just go away with that. And you can always just put the name in. So that's one of those things to look out for. You want to make sure you're more than likely going to be sending it to the spouse as well. So that's one of the things. I got a question from Frank. Relationship, create two separate contact records linked by relationship. How do you handle notes, emails, and transactions with two or more persons involved in the transaction? If I create a transaction, Frank, but Frank and Julie are the buyers together in that purchase, how does that work? So you're going to have, as always, the primary. Let me go back to this one here. You're going to have the primary here, and you can choose which one is your primary because of the fact that they're linked. Now, if I were to put notes in on this one, I'm just going to add a note. Yes, no. Now, it's going to save on Scott. But when I go over to Jean, it's not going to be there yet because the primary is on the one side. So the real reason to do this is just to be able to have the connectivity for marketing and communication and to also have that relationship created. But for a transaction, you are going to still want to pick which one you want to have the primary information on. That's the way it was designed to do that. It makes it a lot easier to have your primary. So I guess the answer to your question, Frank, is pick the one that you want as your primary for all that information, and then put all of your relationships onto the side to see how they would connect with each other. I hope that answers that question. Now, I've shown you two examples here, one coming from Top Producer 8i and one when you have both of the contacts within Top Producer X. Now, what do you do if all of a sudden you've got a contact that doesn't have a relationship that's built into your system? They've got a new relationship. So we go over here and we can add relationship. Now this time, instead of searching to add, I'm going to add a new contact. So it's going to be like creating a regular contact. So I'm going to call this person Patience River. Give them a quick email address of flowingatwater.com. Yeah, I know I have no original ideas in my head when it comes to names and stuff. I just go with it. So we're going to call this person the spouse. They got married. It was a secret thing. They're very happy together. So we save the relationship. So now when we do that email, oh, why is it telling? Oh, it helps if I put an email on the main character, on the main contact character. Let's just do a waters@tested.com. We'll create that. So see, this is another thing. As you're going through to do this and adding the relationships, you may find other things that you need to put onto your main contacts too. So with this, I can then do and create both of them. So you'll see I have the main person and the secondary. I'm going to add my hello there. Then I'm going to put in and, if I can learn how to spell. And then we'll go down to spouse's name. So spouse first name. And there you go. Now we all of a sudden have an email that's going out to both of them and addressing both of them right off the top. This is going to make it so you can get that personalized touch that you've always wanted and not just have to just send it to one person. You can now control who your emails are going to in the group. And let's say that, again, it's just the same as before with my situation. Maybe tested is too busy and leaving everything up to patients. You could send it to patients only by removing tested and then just keep the greeting, or even just adjust the greeting to just be patients. You could even turn it around. Patients and because. Now this is going to be one of those ones where I'm actually testing this that I should have tested earlier. I'm going to see if it goes backwards from secondary to primary. I had faith. It actually does exactly what I expected. So there you go. That's one of the ways to do that. And that's how you can do all types of connections and getting your relationships set up. Now, I'm not going to send that email because those are fake. But then you can see I've got all these here. And again, I can go over. And if I need to update this one, I can edit this contact. So I can put anything in here. Now, again, I do like the idea of having some of the notes separate. I do get where you're coming from, Frank. It does help to have the primary. You can always, when you're doing a transaction, and because that was actually the question, I'm going to add this in. Actually, let's see if I have any transactions on here. I do have one. You can add the parties. So if you were to say, see, you can add different people in and as an other and spouse. Now, this is a completely I forgot how to speak. This is a completely different group. They're not associated, but I still wanted to try it just to show it to you. So now when we go to transactions, there you go. So just add them as another person on the transaction, and that'll allow you to have all that information there. It is a step. I get it. This is one, but it does help you keep things organized, and it does help you keep people in the right place. So if for the unfortunate circumstances of, like I say, life, things change, you are able to split them if you have to, and then they won't be connected to each other. So, I mean, if I go over to this one, to patients, you'll notice she's not connected to the not connected to the transaction. I'm sorry, my brain stopped on the word transaction. I have no idea why. But you'll notice that she's not attached to it. Now, if I were to go back over here, and sorry, all you have to do is click on the name to jump. I just realized I did that pretty quick. Okay, Frank, so when you're on the relationships, when you click on add relationship, you're not getting the add new contact? Or if you do already have the husband and wife in your CRM, you can't just search them out and add them? Oh, when you're adding a new person, okay. When you're adding a new person, the best thing to do is to create the initial. So let's add a contact. We'll add, wish I could think of a good name for this one. Off wall, because I'm off the wall every now and then. Mobile number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So yes, you would go through this. You would go through all of this part here, save the contact, and then yes, you would have to go up here, add the relationship, and then add new contact on wall. And then I'll go as the phone number. Okay. And then I'll save the contact, and then I'll make them the spouse. So it's okay. So it's Brandon says he cannot create them simultaneously. I got that. Thank you. When you create the spouse, there's a copy address and properties to both contacts. Does that stay on the primary? Stays on the primary, but that is a good suggestion. Please click on feedback down here to see if we can add that in. Denise asks, so it's easy to add someone to an individual email, but when you're sending out multiple emails at a time, it's impossible to type both parties at one time, i.e. husband and wife. Well, let's take a look at that. Let's try this and do a mass email. I'm just going to use the my hello there because it's simple and easy. Select template. Now you'll notice that yes, it is only taking the primary. But if we go to custom, no, that doesn't work. It does only pull the primaries. Yeah. Okay, Frank, if you want to end a relationship, so we go up here and you can go here and you just cancel it. You delete it. I mean, you can turn them into one of these like ex-partner or friend or something. But if you want to cancel the relationship, you just delete it. And now this person no longer has that relationship there. Brian, at this time, we have just those specific relationship types in there. I don't know if we'd like to have a different or an option. We may add that in the future. But again, as I always say, give us your feedback. I like that idea and way to get it for you for the future. So let's see. David, I like innate AI when we can choose the letter salutation. That is something that, yes, I can see as a future option. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but give us your feedback. Christine and I do get feedback from this, and we do suggest it as well. The more people suggesting it actually gets more traction. So if you can put in some information as well, that would be awesome. Donna, when you cancel a relationship, thank you, Christine. Yeah, it just unlinks the contact record. And I think because of the fact that I hadn't actually, so let's see, I had wall. I'm going to do a search for the off the wall, and you'll notice the one that I had created on the wall is still there, but no relationship. So I just unlinked the contact records. Okay. Ability to add notes to the relationship, simultaneous notes to both sides from Brandon. I agree. So that is something, Brandon, if you have a chance, give us your feedback. We'd love to hear it. Hopefully we can get it in there. Julianne, if supposed are separate, then how do they get input into a mail out? Will they get 2 mail outs? If it's for a group email, yes. If you do an individual email for them, you can actually select both of them and just send it to one at a time. That is probably something that we should look at for the future. Oh, as we don't have that over in Top Producer X yet, it will still, if you're using the information from Top Producer AI, it has that lineup, so it would have that information. It's kind of like when somebody asked if you could actually set the letter salutation. That is something that future edition, when we put in the letters and stuff for you to send out from Top Producer X. And I always try to avoid saying snail mail, but I like it that you said it, because the last time I sent something through the post, it did take a while to get to where I was going. So snail mail, appropriate. So yeah, it is one of those things where once we get the ability to do more of the marketing items like snail mail and postcards and whatnot. If, and don't take the types of messaging I'm giving as what's coming. I'm just thinking back to the Top Producer 8i stuff that we had. So if we do get that into Top Producer X, there hopefully, and I've given the feedback and the suggestion, I'm sure many of you will too, the salutation, the ability to add 2 people to it. It will be there, I'm sure of it. It's something that'll be very important. Of course, I just said I'm sure of it, so please don't hold me to that. All right, so with the way 8i is working right now, I haven't seen any reports, so I would be very cautious of jumping out. From what I remember, the last time I did that, Julianne, it would actually just put both first names into the first name of the primary. So that is one of those things. Please keep in mind, the 2 programs are using vastly different coding or programming languages to make them. Some things that may look the same are not going to be read the same in the back end. That does mean some things that go from one way, like working from Top Producer 8i to X, where we'll give you the chance to convert that into a relationship. Going back from X to 8i is going to more than likely just convert it into the primary's name is first names of both people, if you put them into that first name source. Does that make sense? I get where you're asking, about. It's just comes down to technology. Newer technology and older technology, they don't always get along. All right, so let's go back over here now. Okay, so that was everything there. I know we've just half an hour has gone past. We do like to try to keep our webinars around half an hour, but that was a lot to go over. I'd be more than happy to go over anything else. Let's see, Donna, we like 8i and that is what we are using now. However, it goes down often. Will X be more reliable? X is already more stable. X is built on the cloud to begin with. It is built with newer technology, which does not have a lot of the old code issues that 8i might have. And also, we are still working on finding out why 8i is slow. The team is actually on that all the time. And whenever we get a report of slowness, we do report it to them. So they are hoping to get that up and running. We love 8i too. Don't get me wrong. We hope it's working properly. Della, I have not gone to X. I use 8i and snail mail a lot because no one else does it. I'm not going to X until they make it able to print labels and facilitate snail mail. Please answer. Della, I know you want that. It is something that is on the roadmap. I promise you it's on the roadmap. A lot of the slowdowns are coming from the fact that we're still working on keeping 8i working. You do notice that you get errors. You do notice you get slowness. That is something that is server side and our team is working on it. We did send an email out the other day to announce that and to explain that we are doing that. But yes, a lot of the items you want, like the snail mail and labels, we know they're important and we have had a lot of people ask for them. So they are on the roadmap for X. Let's see. Glenn, I actually mentioned that in a meeting the other day, the expense tracker. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with expense tracker. I can't make any promises on that or anything. I did bring it up. I will say that a lot of the things we are doing, we are trying to just concentrate on what we know best, which is CRMs. But I don't know what the future brings. I'm only given a lot of the information from a certain level. I don't know what exactly is going on in the higher levels. Let's see. Denise, other than the relationship feature, what are the difference between 8i and X? Denise, that is a very long answer. So thank you, Christine. You actually gave a better answer than that. There are a fair amount of differences, and this webinar that Christine has just put up would explain that and maybe help get everything out for you and answer your questions. Let's see. Della, I'm always happy to answer questions. Maria, labels is very, very important. I hear you. I will, again, go over to my Top Producer X. Please, feedback. The more feedback we get, the more possible. Frank, again, feedback. And we'll take a note of what everyone was asking for and get that already. Okay. I'm getting a clear feeling that labels are super important. So I'll talk to a couple of people after this webinar and explain to them how the majority of what I was asked about was labels. Hopefully we can do something about that soon. I get it. You send out calendars, you send out special events, you send out notifications like that through the mail. I get it. People still do get mail. Envelopes. Envelopes, I don't know if that one's were going to be as important, Jennifer, but I can put that in there. There's so many other things you can do with the software, Steve. It's not just about labels, but I get it. I get it if that's your primary things, yes. But if that's the primary, maybe we could show you a few other things that could help you use it. All in one, I get it. I'm definitely going to make the announcement to everyone. Okay, Della, I appreciate that. It's really all I keep Top Producer. I mail monthly and do millions. I need envelopes, need a selection of fonts and colors for all printing. Okay, we will put that down. Again, all this feedback you're giving to me, please, let me get my mouse to go to the right spot. Click on the feedback. Click on the feedback and give it to our team. The more that we hear from you, the more it becomes critical. Okay, so I've got two people who say expense labels and letters are critical. Envelopes and labels. I'm seeing a very clear, I'm seeing a very clear leaning towards labels, envelopes, and the expense tracker. I will definitely make a note of that and reach out to people about that. Della, what do you, I'm not sure what you mean by what do y'all use for a website? Are you meaning our site or the Top Producer websites that we offer our clients? Or was that more of a question to your fellow viewers? I'm going to be completely honest with you. My web-based knowledge of creating and building websites is from 1999 through 2003. I am not exactly sure what they are doing with it. I don't know what type of web servers we use, what type of language everything is programmed in. That is above my pay grade. I'll be honest with you on that. Janice and Denise are also giving agreement with the labels. Okay. We do offer, Della, we do offer a website product. It is a simple template-driven website. You could use that and you could set it up. And if you reach out to any of us via our chat down here in the corner, so you click on this and we're to talk to my friend Usman, he could actually let you know about what's going on and what we have. Okay. You can reach them and they can even get you in touch with a salesperson. They can help you out. David, we do different webinars. So let me go over, hang on, let me get back to, oh, this is the page I wanted. Go F11 real quick. Oops. I can't type today. It's going to be a long day, I think, especially since I'm doing emails today. So we have a webinar schedule right here. Let me just expand this a little bit. You'll notice that we have webinars almost every day of the week, except Mondays. We usually organize things on Mondays, but different webinars and different ones with different information. You can find it here. Like today is the latest Top Producer X updates. Tomorrow is 4 things you'll want to know after you set up Top Producer X CRM. And then on Friday, we do another one for getting started. Next weekend, we're going to do a data, or next weekend. I'm not working on the weekend, sorry. Next Wednesday, database cleanup and organization 101. So hopefully we'll see you for that. And then on the 26th, we'll have upgrading from Top Producer Classic 8i to X. Market analysis and connectivity to MLS also. Roz, we do have connectivity to MLS. So I'm a little bit concerned. If you're not able to connect, it may be something with your MLS. I would again ask you to reach out to our support team. Maybe they can work on that with you. And you have a different chat you can do from here, first name, last name, and email. When going through this, please use the first and last name and the email that's on file. That way we can connect to your account a lot easier. So when you're using this one, please do use that information. If you do need to update the information to something new, let us know. Is there a plan to make the relationship type customizable? At this time, Janelle, I am not 100% sure on that, but that is something we'll reach out to. A lot of things they start off with, this is what we think should be there, and then we do ask for feedback. So customization has been mentioned a couple of times. We'll add that for it. Roz, let's reach out to our team, definitely. We'll see what we can do for you. Frank, all I know is it's in the testing section. The team is going through. We're being very careful about the mobile experience for the Top Producer X. We want to make sure that it doesn't cause any problems and doesn't give you any reason not to use it. We want to make sure it works properly. If anything in the last couple of years has taught us is to make sure everything works properly, because we have a very dedicated group of users and we want to make sure we give you the best experience and not give you a bad experience. So yes, it is on the way. I know we've been saying that for a long time, but it is definitely on the way. Janice, I had to follow up with website provider GoDaddy to get my MLS connectivity activated. I'm a little bit curious about that one, Janice. GoDaddy shouldn't need to do anything with the MLS connectivity unless it was due to having to get an SSL for security. That's the only thing I can think of. If I will look into your account though. I'm making a note of your name to check that and check the history. Okay. Oh, look, I have a feeling it was the security. It wasn't the actual MLS connectivity, because the connectivity goes through Top Producer, not through a domain provider. Okay, do you have any other questions, folks? I'm absolutely loving all the questions. I like to actually stretch my brain out and answer them for you, because that's what I'm here for. I even got my Top Producer X open in case you need me to go over something again. Okay. Just give it a moment. What I will do while we're waiting is, again, I know I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I will mention it again. We do have chat in all of our programs. Down in the bottom right, you'll see a chat bubble, chat icon. You can always ask them how to do it and reach out to and different places to go. Chat now from within the product or topproducer.com/campus. On the campus site, you do have a spot up in the bottom here, or if you're at the main topproducer.com campus site, which let me just get to that. You can click on chat now here. And that'll get you to our team. Brings up the same thing as down in the corner. Email is at support, or email us going to support@topproducer.com, and our team will be answering those questions. Like I said, I am working on emails today, so hopefully I can get, if I come across any that are yours, you'll get hopefully a happy response from me, or at least a intelligent response with a good answer. That's what I shoot for, but I do try to make them happy too. And again, the support site at topproducer.com/campus. Now, I am getting a message here. Heather Parnas, this is a small thing, but how can I stop the pop-up everyday marketing smart targeting? It's supposed to stop after you actually say yes or no to it, Heather, because I haven't had it pop up on mine. If you are still getting it, you may want to do a browser cache clear. So let me go back to my browser here real quick. Over here. If you go to these three dots up here on Chrome or Edge, in Firefox, it's 3 lines. You click on it, more tools, and it's changed on me. They moved that. Okay. The other option is to go to settings and privacy, search and services, and clear browsing data. And then you can choose what you want to do. If you have done that and it's still coming up, Heather, please reach out to our support team. We'll definitely see what we can do to help you, because if you've done all of that, it shouldn't still be coming up, and we'd like to know why. And we'll get it fixed for you, okay? I hope that helps. Sorry, I don't have a better answer than that. David asked, what is support? I'm in Indiana. We're on Eastern time zone. So 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, like Christina said. Christine, wow, she's going to rip me for that one. New one for the blooper reel. And Christine, Christine Kaufman, you're getting the same thing, that you're still getting that pop-up. Let's go back to this. So I'm going to do sign out and sign back in. There may be something else there. So yeah, Christine, if you can reach out to our support team as well, we'll see what we can do about getting that off there. The one other thing that I would maybe recommend beforehand is, if you go to Top Producer using a bookmark, delete your bookmark. Like, let me just bookmark this page and I'll put it on my favorites, or my favorites bar. So you'll notice I have it here. If you normally use a bookmark to get to your Top Producer, it does sometimes in the bookmark have some history there. So if you were to go over here and delete the bookmark and then log out of Top Producer, and this is, I would definitely say to do this, is to log out of Top Producer, close that tab, open a new one, and go direct, then create a new bookmark from there, because this will actually pull out a new version from the server and should help you out. Ah, you do use a bookmark. Okay. I'm glad that I thought of that answer. Hopefully that helps, Heather. And Christine Kaufman, give that a try as well. Maybe that'll work. Mass email, and I'm so afraid of saying names wrong. Ania, mass email to our clients still available or not? Within Top Producer X, we do have something we call group email. It's still available. You select the people and click on send group email. Now, keep in mind, you want to do 100 clients at a time, because that is a limit that has been applied upon us. Now, the one thing is, if you don't have that, or if you do that, you then have to check with your email provider what your limit is. And thank you, Christine has the answer on how to do the group emails there. Heather, glad to see it work. Thank you for trying that. So again, if you are running into the pop-up for smart targeting or any of the other marketing stuff, if you do have a bookmark, remove it, log out, close the tab, new tab, go into Top Producer directly, and there you go. Awesome. I'm glad it worked for you too, Christine. I've just validated my existence as a technician. It's a good day. Thanks, Christine. Do I get a cookie later? Do we have any other questions today, or can I stop being silly and actually and try to be an actual professional person? Hopefully we keep bringing out this stuff. Again, I always will always say, give us your feedback. We definitely want that. We want to make this program better. Julianne, when inputting a condo unit, yes? Do you mean the address, or if you're selling condos for $310 million, I'm doing the wrong job. Okay, so you are meaning 25 is this the condo number, 310 mil is the road. All good, all good. I'm sure somewhere out there there's a condo for 310 million. So let me go over my transactions. let's see if I have any that are actually condos that I'm working on. So you'll notice when you edit the transaction, you do have the unit number right here. So when you're doing it, you put the street, 310, street name, Mill Street, South, and, or you could put street here. And then you would put the unit number here. And yeah, I haven't successfully tried that, to be honest. Now, I do know our search is constantly being improved and upgraded. So if we don't have that now, I'm betting we'll have it in the future. So let's see, I'm going to edit this and put a unit number. So it'll look like that. You see how it just all of a sudden added the 25 at the end? So it puts the unit number at the end. I hope that helps, Julianne. If not, please reach out to our support team by clicking on the chat button down the bottom, and we'll take a look at it for you. See what we can see and see what we can find out for you and get that taken care of. Oh, on a contact. Okay. Okay. Julianne, if you wouldn't mind, could you reach out to our support team on that one? I think it might be something that would be better one-on-one with that, because right at the moment, I think I'm missing something. And the last thing I want to do is give you bad advice. I think I know what you're asking, but at the same time, I'm tripping. So when I say tripping, I'm not exactly sure which direction I should go. So please reach out to the support team. I want to make sure you get the best information and not me trying to think it through right here, because I'm missing something and I know it. So please reach out to them. Just click on here, down on the bottom, and reach out to somebody. They'll have an answer for you. Okay, yeah, okay, I get it. Yes, there is just a quick address area. You would then want to go in afterwards and on the properties. I don't know if I have any properties on this person. Let me find one who has a property. Oh, he doesn't have a property. Let's go to my transactions. So when you're over here, unfortunately, I kind of jumped around, but I found a contact that has a property. Click on properties, and then you'll have an option to edit. And this is where you'd be able to put that in. Plus, you can see building floor as well. Okay, now I understand what you were talking about, Julianne. I hope what I just did there helps. So again, it was just go to them, properties, and edit the property. So hopefully that does give a little bit better, because as you can see, there's more information here that can be put in. Okay. I get where you're coming from. Would you please, when you get a chance, send that as a feedback? The more we get that, the more possibilities, because again, as I say, we are trying to build this for you. You're the people that use it in the field. We're the geeks that are creating it and supporting it. The more you tell us, the better we can get you. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, it's almost 11 o'clock now, Pacific time. So I have taken up an hour of your time today, and I really do appreciate you sticking it out with me. I think that was pretty cool. But if you don't have any other questions, we will get going. Carrie, is it your top producer X or 8i right now? Okay. One other thing that I've had people do when we've run into the issues with 8i, try a different browser, or another thing that you can do in your browser, again, up here, top corner, there's in Edge, they call it a private window. In Chrome, they call it incognito. Try one of those. It will ask you to log in. You'll have to log in directly. The difference is the private and incognito windows have no history. So it'll be querying the database on the server right away, which should give you a better connection. Give that a try. If not, I'm going to submit a timeout in your name right now. So our developers and web team know, okay? Hopefully we can get that back up and running pretty quick. Give that a try too, Carrie. It may help. All right. Everybody else, if you have any other further questions, please reach out to us through our support team, and we will do what we can to help you. I appreciate everybody being here. Look forward to seeing you at our next webinars, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thanks everyone for stopping by, and bye for now.